Drop that little hose clamp. I see it though. These are 1, 2, 3 12mm bolts, one 12mm nut, and then there's one 12mm on the back here against the bracket. Oh, there's another one down here. I didn't see it. 4 on the face. 4 bolts, 1 nut on the face. Small 12mm. See a lot of oil in there and on here. Okay, came off. All that over this little clip I couldn't get out of that hole there, but more concerning is this thing broke. Its tab broke. It's an 8mm hex. This is a 12mm nut. One more over here. And this comes up. And you just tuck this over here. This ground wire is held on with a 10mm nut. Yes, and that is a 12mm socket. I think this is a Torx 50. It seems to be the best fit, but it's not. It's kind of a corroded bolt. Okay, good. T50. Actually, that doesn't look like a... That looks like a hex. T50 got it though. I think this is actually an 8, but I couldn't get the 8 in there. It didn't seem like it fit, but it fits. Yeah, I think that is supposed to be an 8. So there's one more bolt, I think, holding this intake on, and this is the one I've heard about this one. It's back here. It's a 14mm, and It is, you can see that right there. There's not enough room to get a socket around it. It's right up against the firewall. I'm not sure how much of that was visible, but this was it. It was not on very tight. Last time I worked on this car, I thought I lost this in the engine. I just spotted it right now. So if this is the same thing I think I lost last time, it's the same size cap as this one, which means I can cap this one and get my Sharpie back. Yes. So after all that, I was wrong. There's one more bolt. It's also in a tough spot. It's back here. And it's not a 14, it's a 12. Camera's now getting in the way. I think I got it loose enough to take it off with this 12 point, hopefully. Oh no. Got it. Got it. I think that was out early, but it was just kind of wedged in there, not coming out. I don't know what was going on. Hardest one yet. That's not going to be fun to get back in. Let's see if this comes off now. I don't know if I need to take these studs out. They are a 8mm reverse Torx. Now let's see. Oh, there's still something holding it on. All right, it came out. This piece connecting to this piece was what was still holding it in. A lot of oil in there for sure. So this thing that was catching the manifold is the PCV valve. Free. 1, 2, 3. It's a brill. Broke again. This looks pretty good. This one's got some dirt around the edge. And then this one looks pretty clean. Just confirm these are E6. That is not coming off. I don't know what to do here. That is just rounded off. So here's the problem I've run into. This wire harness is held in by these two bolts or studs that are, I need to use an E6 reverse Torx socket to get them out, but it just rounded it out, both of them, like it was just in bad shape to begin with, and I can't figure out any other way to get them out. I need this off to get the valve cover off, because there's a nut hidden back behind there that this is blocking access to. So here's what I'm going to try. Nope. No luck. So the idea behind that technique was this nut with a slot cut out of it by the Dremel will screw around a bolt. Then you use vice grips to compress that space, and then the whole bolt will turn. But it didn't work out that way. I mean, there is something to it. This is compressing that space, and I can't easily turn this bolt. It requires some force, but it's probably, I don't know what that is, 20 foot-pounds of torque or something. Not that much. The only thing I'm going to be able to try tonight is this. I don't think it's going to work, but it's Sunday night. It's only chance I have. Did that work? I can't tell. Oh my God, it worked. I can't believe that worked. I cannot believe that worked. Take this off. Again. Amazing. Once again, I've taken a problem that made it worse. I took the E6 socket to the store to try to show them what I needed, and then I had it in my pocket, and now it's not there anymore. I think I know where it fell out. Let's see if I can catch it with this. What? Got a hit? Look at that. Here's the old gasket. The rest of this one is still stuck in there. This seal is like bonded to this aluminum. It's just breaking off. It's not coming off. I don't want to be chiseling on this. This is definitely still rubber, so. And the only part that's left is completely sealed against the aluminum. So I gotta figure out a way to get these out. Gotta get creative here. Ooh, wow. That was not fun. Little heart. Well, I'm trying to figure out what happened, but this new spark plug removal socket I bought, I don't know what happened, but this came off of the spark plug in there and it seems to be stuck. And I don't know. Here's a new spark plug. I don't know what that is that came off of it. So I didn't realize it at the time, but this style of spark plug socket actually uses a magnetic ring to hold onto the spark plug. And what had happened was that ring had shifted. See how far back it is when they're brand new? And then if you look at what had happened is that ring came all the way out and was actually blocking the hexagon part of the socket. So when it connected with the spark plug, it just ground that magnetic ring into pieces that started coming out. And I couldn't really figure out what was going on until I actually saw what a brand new one looked like in the store. I don't know what that is. Spark plug seems not damaged. I don't think that whatever's in there came off that spark plug. Whatever that is, I can't get that out of that spark plug socket. The reason I bought that is the spark plug socket I have, I'm worried about this happening. It's just coming apart. It doesn't have a very tight hold, but I want to make some progress, so I'm going to try it. Another reason I wanted to get a new spark plug socket is the one I have uses this old piece of rubber to grip the spark plug. Okay, it came up. There's the first one. And because it's so old, it always falls off the socket, gets stuck on the spark plug down in the tube. Okay, good. Got it out. Nope. It's still down in there, the rubber piece. So I kept having to pull it off of the spark plugs using this gripper tool. I was expecting that one to be a lot worse, but it's about the same. Hey, came out that time. This is a 10mm bolt. There's 9 of them, starting at 5 foot-pounds. It's just spinning. So bolt number 4 just snapped off. It was not giving me any resistance. It was not torquing down. It just spun, then snapped off. So the good news is I reached down. I can turn it with the vice grips. I think I should be able to get it out, but also this bolt number 2 was doing the same thing. Just spinning with no resistance. So let's try to get these both out, see what's going on. So after almost an hour of fighting this, I think I'm finally getting this out. Maybe 45 minutes of fighting that thing. So these two bolt holes are cross-threaded. I don't know. I'm going to try to re-tap them and see if I have any luck. I'm actually not so sure now. This bolt, this good bolt that was not giving me a problem, is going in and coming out okay, it seems like. No issue. This is where that bolt snapped off. How about this one? Yeah, this one's giving me a problem. So this bolt goes in here fine. This is where it snapped off. Maybe the bolt that snapped off was in there originally? I mean, it's going in every hole. This bolt marked in white is the one that came out of here, and it was tight. But if this is cross-threaded, if the hole is cross-threaded, that would make sense. If this bolt goes in here, yeah, this bolt is going in here, but it's moving around quite a bit. It's moving around quite a bit in this hole too. Maybe I'll try to put a die on this and see if this can clean up any. Okay, let's try that. This is the bolt I just took out of the die. It originally came out of here, and it was spinning in here wobbly, and it was spinning in here kind of wobbly. So I'm gonna try it here. Still kind of wobbly, but it goes in. I think I could use this bolt in this hole. Problem, I think, is this hole. I cannot get anything to go in that hole, so I think I gotta re-tap that one. It goes all the way in. It worked. That's a relief. That's a good feeling. This might be overkill, but I confirmed 9 bolts or 8 bolts fit in all of these holes. The only one I'm missing is one for hole 1, which is here. And I don't have a bolt for that. That's one I'm missing because the other one snapped. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to steal this bolt for now, get this cover back on, and then when I move on to this one, I'll go pick one up from the dealer. What? That was not even hand tight. That just came right out. In the one hole, yeah, it works. Let me start with 1. And I found that each bolt can go in about 20 turns, so I'm not going to go more than that. They all feel like they're going in about the same. All right, they're all in to 14. Now I'm going to go around and tighten them up to maybe 19. They're all pretty snug except this one. I could have just been going easy on this one. I'll feel a whole lot better when that takes torque. Here we go. We're gonna start off at 3. So another problem. I went around and tried to hit him again with a little bit more torque than I had left, and number 3 broke off. So the stud is in there. I got everyone loosened. 2 kind of popped when I loosened it. 2 is the one that would not go down. I'll make sure that nothing got left in that hole. This is 4. And 2 and 4 seem to be the same length, so I don't think it did not break off in the hole, but something popped when it was coming out. Off for the 3rd time. There we go. Bolt number 3. At the dealership, I was wondering how many of these I should get, but these are the only 2 they had left, so. I found the OEM part number for this bolt, and I looked it up online and searched torque spec, and the first thing that popped up was 96 inch-pounds. So what I'm going to try right now is working with 96 inch-pounds. I had to go out and buy an extender for this 1/4 inch torque wrench, and I've gone around with this known good bolt, and I tested 96 inch-pounds on 7 of the 9 holes, and they received it fine. That's what those green circles mean. The ones I've been holding off on are 3. This is where the bolt snapped last night, and 2, which is the initial problem. 2 and 4 were the initial problems. 2, I could not torque down. 4, I believe I torqued down last night. And these numbers, they just reference the tightening pattern that I found. If there's an official numbering to these holes, I don't know what it is. This is just what I've been working off of. So now I'm going to try torquing 2 and 3 to 96. So this is hole 3. This is where the bolt snapped last night. It's not, no, it is going in. Okay, wasn't crazy about that, but it did go in. I'm going to try torquing to 96. Ah, I took it. On to the problem. So, just as a test, I threaded this M6 bolt all the way down and all the way up, and it goes in and out clean. So this is kind of a big moment. If this can hold 96 inch-pounds, it will save me a lot of hassle. Let's see, please. Nope. Nope, that's not going to work. So I need to do a repair on this. This is not holding. I don't know what it's holding. It's not even holding. I mean, it is hand tight. It's almost hand tight. Here's 50. No, it's not holding anything. can't even reach that. I can't get the top handle to fit in here, so I'm going to try going real slow on this. I don't like this. On second thought, I'm just going to try to drive it in with this 8mm bolt. I got the helicoil in here. Let's see if this will thread in there. Okay, it does. All right, to remove that tang, I'm just using the flat end of an old dull drill bit. It fits in there pretty good. And that was effortless. Hopefully I can get that piece out. Came right up. Ah, 96-inch pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I had bought these 2 new bolts and I was going to save them to use in the back, but this one that went in the helical was starting to give me some worry. So I put the new bolt in there, and then I stole this bolt and this bolt here from the back. Those are these. It was a little nerve-wracking, but they all took 96-inch pounds. I ended up not putting these back in to hold this wire harness. I just went with these two M6 bolts with a washer in there, and it's in there pretty good. I couldn't think of a reason not to do that, especially with these heads so stripped out. These are 10 millimeter, 5 foot-pounds. The only jack I own is the one that came with this car, the roadside jack, and I'm kind of getting sick of using that, so I figured this project was a good enough reason to buy something a little bit better. My floor is pretty cratered, and getting in and out of there is a real bummer. I tried putting down cardboard, wood. It seems to only make it worse, so I'll be doing a lot of crawling today. Supposedly there are 3 bolts for those brackets that need to be loosened. There's one there. I don't know how I'm going to reach that, and I don't even know if that bolt will come out. The other one, I don't know if I'm picking this up. And the third is right in there. Also can't see it. Yeah, there's no room down here at all for anything. I was warned about the poor access on this job, and so far I think it's worse than advertised. This bracket right here, in addition to preventing the cover from coming out, this bracket right here is blocking access to one of the cover bolts. I don't know if this one is. It'd be great if this could happen without loosening those, because those bolts are tough to reach and they look to be in pretty bad shape. So that broke. I'm pretty sure that one broke, but the piece didn't fall in yet. Let me just get that piece out of there. I don't want this to fall into anything. Broke. There we go. That one didn't break yet. This is what I was worried about. I got, I guess this would be the number 4 bolt for my previous tightening order, and I cannot get a socket around it because this bracket is bent over the socket. So I was hoping not to have to do this because it looks really hard to reach, but this bracket and this bracket and this bracket need to get loosened up in order to give access to these two bolts. Supposedly this is a 14 millimeter. Let's see if I can hit it from here. No, I see it. I feel it. I can't get a socket around it because there's a sensor in the way. This bracket is actually held on by a 12 millimeter bolt, not a 14. And I can get the socket around the bolt. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit this all in here. Oh my gosh. I got a 10 millimeter bolt on this, holding this harness. It is a nut. It's on a stud. So what I was wondering is if I could get this up to give me any better access. The answer is kind of, but not really. So after getting that harness up a little bit, I can see I have a line of sight to that bolt. This one right there. It's this one. I finally got this 12 bolt on the bottom of this bracket to loosen. I undid the 10 millimeter nut that was on this stud on this wiring harness, and I guess that just gave me just enough room to sneak this down in like there and get on. I didn't film it because once I felt it turning, I didn't want to stop. So broke, it's loose. I'm gonna leave it on there instead of taking it out. And this is now loose enough to give us access to, hopefully, give us access to that 10 millimeter bolt. I don't really have the greatest setup here, so I'm getting sick of driving these into my waist or crunching this plastic or whatever. So I am putting this little homemade scaffolding on just to make that a little bit stiffer. Yeah. So I was able to loosen this. It's a 12 millimeter bolt, and I was able to push it on with my hand, get my hand on there. And at first I couldn't pull up. I just kept trying, and then I found there was something down there I could push off with my thumb. And so pulling and pushing simultaneously, was able to get it to move. I still don't know if I have enough. I don't think I have yet enough room to get a socket or anything around that 10. So that's the next thing to worry about. I have not loosened the bolt holding this brace in. I was able to get this socket on that last 10 millimeter valve cover bolt. It's on there. So now that does give me access to all 9 bolts on this cover to get them off. Getting them back on is going to be interesting. If I have even the slightest issue, similar to what I had in the front, I don't even know how I'm going to fix it. So didn't come this far to turn around. So here we go. So I did end up taking the bolt holding this brace at the bottom completely off. I just didn't like my access to this 10 millimeter bolt for the valve cover. I figured it was the easiest way. It's not going to be very fun to get it back on, but kind of see what we're dealing with. That is the 10 millimeter bolt and washer that came out of there. So I also ended up taking the bolt out of this rightmost bracket. It's a 10 millimeter with a washer, same as, so these two have to go back on these two brackets. That's not going to be fun. But I just went around and confirmed I can fit a torque wrench from above on all 9 bolts. These bottom ones are actually not even hand tight. Okay, so this would be 4. Weird how just that one is tight, all the other ones are just popping around. That's out. Okay, that is 2. I need that mirror. Where did that thing go? Which one has a trick? I don't know what the trick is. Nine. Only 7 remains. Let me see if I can get a better line of sight over this side. There we go. Got it. That is 7. Okay, that's 1. They're all out. This gasket is just sorry for all the squeaking. So this is the bottom side, and it's a lot more oil on there, so that matches what I'm seeing from underneath the car. So this technique is you got to find a weak spot. You just got to keep poking around and find a weak spot. I've had good luck with the edge around these keepers. You find it. There we go. I can feel this one's going. It just takes forever. I'm just prying clockwise, letting the screwdriver push against the edge of this wall here. Almost at the bottom. Alright, so now I've bottomed out, now I can pull up a little bit. And now I'm underneath it, and there it comes. It's just patience. So I cleaned up the mating surface. It looks okay. It's not great access, but I did the best I could. And I took out the 3 spark plugs. I got them here, labeled from where they came out. The issue I'm having is my spark plug socket. This is the holder that lowers the spark plug into the hole, and then it's supposed to come back up with the socket, but it's staying stuck onto the spark plug. And I couldn't get it back out without taking the whole spark plug back out. So what I'm trying out is lowering them down with this tube and turning it just so the threads engage a little bit, and then pull it up. What's this end? This is 13 foot-pounds. Okay, there's 13. Eyeballing it. Okay, 13. Got it. All right. Please have not fallen out. Okay. Maybe you should go up here. Man, I don't like the look of this one. I do not like the look of this one. Alright, I don't know. I'm just gonna start tightening them down. They're all in. 1. That's tight-ish. 2. Okay. That's good. That felt like that was going forever, but then it tightened up. 3. 4. 4. Okay. Seven. That's pretty tight. 8. All right, how'd this one do? There's one. Okay, awesome. 2's tight. 3. 3's pretty tight. 4. 4 is the toughest to get a wrench on. 4 is the hardest one to reach. I have to use a 3/8 socket with 3/8 to 1/4 adapter, and then the 1/4 10mm bit. That's the only height that will fit in there. 5. Okay. Come on. Yeah, that's tight. What's the trick for 7? Please tighten up. Yes! And that's tight. That's not as tight. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with 40 inch-pounds. Last night I said I was only gonna go to, or I thought I was only gonna go to 69 because I looked it up and saw the torque spec for these were 69, not 96. And then I transposed the number in my head and I actually did tighten them to 96. So I think I was a little confused here. I don't think I actually transposed the number in my head. Well, I did find 69 inch-pounds was probably the most common spec for these bolts. I did also find plenty that listed 96 inch-pounds. I don't have a service manual for this car, so I was just relying on whatever I could find in forums online. After all the problems with the bolts I had in the front cover, I was just a little nervous about torque for these bolts, but looking back at all the issues I did have, everything was well below 69 inch-pounds, so I don't think that was a factor. Here's 40. That's 40. 2. That's 40. 3. 40. Oh, this one. Let's see. How are we gonna do this? Okay. The good news is that that's already at 40. 5. That's at 40. Okay, I'm on.
You get the best day, Dom.
That's already torqued. 6, 7. That's already torqued. 8. That's already torqued. And 9. That's already torqued. Okay. 69 inch-pounds. These are the most anticipated wrench turns of my life. All right. 1. Got it. 2. Got it. 3. 4. Wait, that was 3. Now 4. 5. Yes. Come on. Yeah. 69 on that one. 7. If we get 7, I think we're home free. And we're home. 8 and 9, all that's left. Yes. Oh yeah. Five foot-pounds. Ignition coils back in and torque down. The remaining hardware I have is these 2 brackets right there. I've got 2 14mm bolts. This one goes to the one on the right, and then this one, which I'm about to attempt, goes to the one on the left. I'm not going to film any of this because it's not visible and it's going to take a long time. So this 12mm bolt actually went on a lot easier than it came off. I called them 14, but they're actually 12. And somebody recommended on another video of mine to go out and buy a high tooth count socket, which I for some reason didn't do until this morning at the end of this job. But it really works great back in these tight corners. This is a 108 tooth count, 3/8 socket. I wish I had this the last few days. Okay, got it started. Oh my gosh, I just lucked out. Hopefully you can still see that. I just lucked into placing that on there, so I'm not going to risk giving this up. All right, that's good. That's all back in place. I could be mistaken, but I think that's the last thing I would have needed bottom access for. I didn't actually use the bottom for anything except lines of sight. I didn't do any work from down there. I was just able to reach around from behind and loosen anything I needed to. So I think I'm gonna drop the car and ditch this nightmare of a platform I've been working off of. I kind of wish I hadn't raised this car. This is, I don't know. Seems like everything is easier to reach even in the back, but maybe not. It's slightly less tilted away from me. I don't know. I probably would have tried it without next time. I'm doing it at 15. This is 19 millimeter. Okay. This is the PCV hose that I took off, the old one. I want to replace it because it was pretty gummy in there. But I just noticed this is what they gave me. That is clearly not the right one. Chrysler. We're not dealing with Chrysler. So it's Labor Day, so I gotta figure out what my options are here. Because it's Labor Day, Toyota Parts is closed. I went back to AutoZone and they didn't even have anything in their system that fit what this part was, and nobody recognized it. And then some guy behind me in line said, oh, that, and he went and grabbed this and said, oh, that should work for you. He said, it's the same size hose. 8.1. Yeah, close. It's got a snug fit over the intake manifold. It's got a really snug fit over the PCV valve. And these original clamps, they are tight. So yeah, I'm gonna try this. I found this online, but it's gonna take a couple days to get here. I don't want to wait 2 more days just to get a part if it's just a hose. If this works, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try to do this without cutting it, but if I need to, I can cut it. Okay, that seems to fit okay. The hose does fit in there. It's not crimped. It's a little bit of a longer run, but it's not crimped. So I think it's gonna work. Got these two 14 millimeter bolts remaining. One goes in that bracket here, one goes in that bracket there. Ooh, I think I got it. Oh. No, it came right out. I guess I wasn't in there. So this bolt was the easier of the two. I was able to get a mirror behind there and saw that the threads on the manifold were above the hole opening on the bracket. So I was able to realize that if I push down on the manifold, the holes would line up, and so I was able to get that bolt to engage with these threads, and I could fit a ratcheting wrench back here. This one was just completely blind, and I swear I turned it 50 times and it still kept turning and turning, and I can't see it. It's tight by my hand. I can't turn it by my hand, but it just, I don't know. And this is on there, so I'm gonna say that's good enough. All right, these are 21 foot-pounds. This is a 8mm. There we go. Left, right. Okay. Okay. Little ground that goes here. Hopefully, where is it? There it is. And then these come up. That seem right? Yeah, that fits. And I think this goes here. These 10mm nuts go on the studs. That one's kind of hard to reach. Here's that clip that gave us so much trouble coming out. Vacuum hose. My marks, my paint marks. Line lines up with line. 1, 2, 3, 4 small and a nut. This one goes on the back. A little that bracket. I didn't have the camera on, but I got this one in. The bracket had shifted out of alignment, so I just pulled it back in. 21 foot-pounds on these 12mm. All right, 21 foot-pounds. Okay. Okay, and then the one in the bracket. Okay, here's the front of the throttle body. These are 10. These go to 11. Close enough. And this goes back on here. these coolant hoses on. I think that's as high as it was. Oh, seems like it should be above that. There we go, there we go. That's better. This back in. Four, 3, 1, 2. X. If any of these hoses come out, there's a nice little diagram right there. 69. This hood prop catch kept digging into my stomach, so I took it off. It's a 5mm Allen.
Notice that it's wet going across. No, not you. Follow my light. Right there. Corner. That's where it's coming from. And it's coming down here looking like, making the pump look like it's wet. But it's coming from the corner. If you notice.